We will bring the second meeting of Tourism and Outdoor Recreation to order. We have some additional seats if anyone else just outside the doorway would like to join us. You're certainly welcome. Before we officially get started, do any members have guests they would like to introduce today? I see a nice group in the back and thought they might be with a member. Thank you all for coming. Can a spokesperson stand up and tell us who you're with? We appreciate you joining us today.
We're from Mercy Academy, and we're doing a field trip to come out and get to talk to some of our senators and representatives.
Mercy Academy in Louisville, and you chose the Tourism and Outdoor Recreation Committee to visit today. Welcome. We certainly appreciate you being here. As a reminder to members and our audience, if you will please silence your cell phones at this time. If you're interested in testifying, please use the sign-in sheet at the doorway. Testimony is within the chair's discretion based on our time restraints and the information already presented. We don't need to repeat a lot of things. As a reminder, no signs are allowed in the committee room. To any of our members who are attending remotely, please let us know your location as you respond to the roll call, and only members in their annex office or in the committee room or on Capitol campus will be counted present and allowed to vote on bills. If a member has a question, please notify one of us up here and we will certainly get to you. Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Present.
Representative Branscombe. Representative Donahue.
Here.
Representative Pfister.
Present in the room.
Present in the room.
Representative Frazier.
Representative Frazier Gordon. Present from district.
Thank you.
Representative
Freeland. Representative Hale.
Present here in the room.
Representative Huff.
Present in the room.
Representative Kirk McCormick.
Present in the room.
Representative Lawrence.
Present in the room.
Representative Palumbo.
Here in my annex office.
Thank you. Representative Pollock.
Here in the room.
Representative Reed. Representative Roberts.
Here in the room.
Representative Stevenson. Representative Tackett Lafferty.
Present in the room.
Representative Timoney.
Here.
Representative Truitt.
Present in the room.
Representative Wesley.
Here.
Representative Fugit.
Here in the room.
Chair King.
Present in the room. We do have a quorum. We do have a quorum and are duly constituted to do business this morning. We do have several members that need to be in other committees at this very same time, so we will start with House Bill 513. Representative Jerry Miller is the sponsor. If Representative Miller and any of his guests will please come to the table. It's the committee's protocol to ask this question of our guests. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
We appreciate that. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm joined today by Commissioner of Fish and Wildlife Storm and his guest, and I'll let you all introduce yourselves.
I'm Scott Porter. I'm the attorney assigned to the Department of Fish and Wildlife Fees in Lieu of Division.
I'm Rich Storm, Commissioner, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
House Bill 513 relates to fee in lieu of, and that's in July 2000, the Kentucky Legislature passed KRS 150.255, which established the Kentucky Wetlands and Stream Mitigation Fund. KDFR WR Wetland and Stream Mitigation Program manages the fee in lieu of, or FILO program, or FILO if you choose, to provide a consistent and successful approach to fulfill compensatory mitigation requirements associated with the Clean Water Act, which are administered respectively by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Kentucky Division of Water. The current balance in the FILO fund is about $120 million. Since FILO is property-centric, this bill, 513, would treat FILO like KYTC by granting FILO a similar procurement process that transportation enjoys for purchasing property for right-of-way and project construction. HB 513 was developed from the final report of the 13-member FELO task force recommended in last year's SB 261. The bipartisan task force, which included Senators Brandon Smith and Robin Webb, as well as Representative Ed Massey and Boone County County Judge Gary Moore, and it also included Tom Fitzgerald of the Kentucky Resources Council. And all of these people support this bill. Commissioner Storm.
Representative Miller.
There is a sub, yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Would you like to adopt the committee sub for consideration?
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
someone like to make that motion? Do we have a second? We will adopt that by voice vote. All in favor of adopting the committee sub, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now considering the committee sub. Please proceed.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. I will try to be brief and then entertain any questions that you may have. The Fish and Game Fund is not the FELO fund, so these don't have anything to do with licensed dollars. But what I do want to say, clean water makes great fisheries, makes great opportunity for wildlife to be healthy, and so this program runs parallel with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and these pass-through funds are integral for us to achieve our mission. And so I want to say a couple key points. 85% of these funds are allocated. And so when we talk about large portions of money, we're not trying to find a place to spend these dollars. But what this bill simply does is it allows, and no pun intended here, this streamlines processes for the program. And so these ideas are a collaboration of a lot of various stakeholders, nonpartisan, to get us where we are today, and that's what this bill does. Anything to add to that, Scott?
That was very well said, and that was a good presentation by Representative Miller as well. Again, this is the bill is a byproduct of the work group that was formed right after the August interim subcommittee meeting of the Senate and House Natural Resources. At Commissioner Storm's direction, we convened the task force that had elected representatives, local government representatives, Tom Fitzgerald. We had industry representatives, the Chamber of Commerce.
Motion on the bill as amended by the committee sub.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. We are taking down a queue of questions. We will start with Representative Kirk McCormick.
Excuse me, but I'm a little slow to catch on, but I don't ever forget. With this money, this FELO money, 85% is already earmarked. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So is there projects in my district, Commissioner Storm, that this will benefit? And
Johnson Pike.
I think Scott could probably speak to that more specific than I can, but I do, to add to your question, these projects, when there's a hydraulic consequence, for lack of a better term, in a region, in a service region, those dollars are allocated back into those regions. So when we have an area such as Northern Kentucky that's highly developed, there's a lot of projects going on in Northern Kentucky naturally, but do you know specific projects that would be in her district?
There are work going on in the Big Sandy. We are actively looking for projects in the Big Sandy. We've also got an RFP out in the Upper Cumberland that we will begin evaluating next week with finance, in conjunction with the Finance Cabinet.
another question, Mrs. Chairman.
Yes, one more, please.
We are having a major problem with our waterways and streams that's creating flooding. Is there any money that can be used to dredge our waterways and streams in eastern Kentucky?
That may be a Division of Water question. I can tell you these projects, when we do these projects, they create more of a natural water flow environment, and something that I think theoretically would help flooding, but obviously we're trying to recreate nature, for lack of a better term. And so naturally there are going to be more projects in areas where there's a great development. And for example, the Ford plant that's going to be around Elizabethtown, that's going to create a lot of projects in that service area.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Lawrence. Representative Tackett-Lafferty.
Well, I basically just had I had a similar question about what type of projects, maybe not necessarily to our pursuant to our districts, but what type of projects are these allocated to? What can we see this money going to try to fix?
Well,
or try to move forward?
Yeah, again, it's stream restoration, and so yesterday I had the pleasure to go to Louisville, and we did a trout stocking, and that project was possible because we had a perfect place for this to happen. So outside of Metro Louisville, we were able to stock several hundred trout, and we're gonna put 12,000 trout in this stream of Floyd's Fork. And so again, throughout the state, depending on the service area, we're gonna have projects. And so I'd be glad after this meeting to reach out to you all and send a list of these projects that we have going, so you all can understand the magnitude of what this program does.
As the commissioner said, these are not taxpayer dollars, they're not sportsmen's dollars, they are developer dollars. For when their developments impact the environment, this program makes it right somewhere within the district. So again, and I can't recall, how many districts are there?
There are 11 service.
11 service districts.
Co-Chair Fugit.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question, did the coal industry, do they pay money into this, the FELO dollars? Does some of that come from the coal industry?
Yes, sir. Any I'm sorry, excuse me, spring allergies. Any individual entity that is applying for a 404 permit, be it a coal industry, Home Builders Association, Ford, whoever that is applying for a 404 permit pays into the fund. I think Department of Transportation is our biggest customer. I think 51% of the money currently in the fund is from the Department of Transportation.
Follow-up question, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
And approximately how much of that money comes from the coal industry, and how much money are we putting back into the coal industry areas of that money?
I will have to look and see if that can be broken down, but per the Clean Water Act, whenever there is a application for a 404 permit, it is mandatory that the restoration work be done in that service area. So if a coal company in Harlan needs a 404 permit, the service area is that Upper Cumberland, and that's where the restoration is being done. Likewise with Ford, that's in the Green River service area, so whatever money Ford pays in, that's where the Green River service area is where the work is going to be done.
Okay, thank you. And I guess my only concern is we want to make sure that the monies that come from the coal industry are spent back in our counties where the coal industry still is operating.
That's a mandatory requirement, and we do follow up with this service area projects.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Of course. Do we have any other questions in the room? Representative Stevenson, my chairmate.
Yes. Hey, just a quick question, and I'm sorry I was a few minutes late. Does this apply to, is it retroactive in any way? And does the water have to be supporting life? Like, does it have to have fish in the water, or can it just be, like, I'm thinking of a particular place that I don't think that there's fish there, but there's all kinds of like ducks and geese and things that are in that water all the time. So maybe.
With the way what stream and wetland mitigation works is when a 404 permit is applied for, that the amount of stream and restoration, or the amount of stream and wetlands that company or that permittee is displacing has to be replaced with an equal like kind. And we do, whether it's not a mandatory that the stream have fish in it, because aquatic habitat supports ducks, deer, everything. So what we look for, and it's kind of a commercial announcement, if anybody has any projects or sites in their area, we'd certainly entertain finding out if there is willing property owners that we'd be able to look for. But yes, we do look for like kind. If it's an ephemeral stream, if it's a perennial stream, we look for those types of projects to replace exactly what was taken, because the Clean Water Act, the goal of the Clean Water Act is no net loss of streams or wetlands. So if Ford displaces, it needs 40,000 credits, then we will look for somewhere in the Green River to develop 40,000 credits.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure if the project I'm thinking of would actually qualify, but I would appreciate if one of you could follow up with me at some point and we can talk about it.
Well, and I'd like to add one thing. So when we do a project and that project's complete, we could have a 100-year flood, or we could have some type of environmental issue. So that project is ongoing. So part of this program, some of these funds are allocated for the what-if event, in the event that you have to go back. And I can think of one project pretty close to my hometown that had a 100-year flood. And so that project had to have additional work to get back where it was. So this is really a never-ending process in terms of clean water.
You're welcome. Any other questions from membership in the room? No one signed up to speak against the proposal. Do members online have any questions they would like to ask? If not, we have a motion and a second. Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker. Yes. Representative Branscombe. Representative Donahue.
It's good to see you, Commissioner. Yes.
Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Frazier Gordon. Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Fugit.
Yes.
Representative Hale.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Representative Lawrence.
Yes.
Representative Palumbo.
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Pollock.
Yes.
Representative Reed.
Yes.
Representative Roberts. Representative Stevenson.
Yes.
Representative Tackett Lafferty.
Yes.
Representative Timoney.
Yes.
Representative Truitt.
Yes.
Representative Wesley.
Yes.
Chair King.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations, Representative Miller. Your bill has passed out of committee with the committee substitute. It is now eligible to be considered on the House floor. And good luck in your next committee meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you,
all
committee.
for being here today.
Thank you all.
Thank you. If our next presenters will please approach the table. Next, we will be considering House Bill 552. Representative Chris Fugit is the sponsor of this measure. If you and your guest will please introduce yourself for the record, and then we'll administer the oath to your guest, and we will hear this bill of yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chris Fugit, representative of the 84th District.
And Sarah Beth Gregory, Chief of Staff for the Auditor of Public Accounts.
Thank you, Madam Chair and
welcome.
committee.
If we could do the oath just real quick for our guests, legislators. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
There's not a former member privilege on that, I guess.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee, for hearing House Bill 552 today. And this bill will clear up language in KRS 148.0222 regarding the audit requirements for the Kentucky Mountain Regional Recreation Authority. The auditor's office contacted me.
We have a motion and a second. Sounds like you're doing really well this morning, Representative Fugit. Do we have any questions regarding 552 from the membership in person or online? Representative Tackett Lafferty.
I would just like to tender a quick comment and say we appreciate what you've done here, Representative Fugit, because and I'm very proud to say that Floyd County was the first to sign the lease with the authority. So
yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No one signed up to speak in opposition? We have a motion and a second. Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker,
Yes.
Representative Branscombe, Representative Donahue,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Pfister,
Yes.
Representative Frazier Gordon, Representative Freeland,
Yes.
Representative Fugit,
Yes.
Representative Hale,
Yes.
Representative Huff, Representative Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Representative Lawrence,
I was on the fence, but I'm a yes.
Representative Palumbo,
Yes.
thank you, Representative Pollock,
Yes.
Representative Reed, Representative Roberts, Representative Stevenson, Representative Tackett Lafferty,
Yes.
Representative Timoney,
I was also on the fence, but I'm a yes.
Representative Truitt,
Yes.
Representative Wesley,
Absolutely.
Chair King.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations, your bill does pass. It's clean, no committee substitute, so it's now eligible to be considered on the House floor. Thank you both for being here and presenting 552. Now we have a special treat. If our former colleague and actually member of this committee as well will come to the table and give us a good update on our state park system here in Kentucky. I know our membership has really been looking forward to hearing about the good work you've been doing, and I think there are several thank yous that are going to be coming your way. So please introduce yourself for the record and the folks listening at home, and we look forward to hearing your update.
Well, thank you very much, Chair Lady King, and I want to let you know the 55th district was looking good when I left this morning, so just want to let you know that. Thank you very much for having me here. I'm Russ Meyer, Commissioner of Kentucky State Parks. I have with me Deputy Commissioner for Tourism, Mona Jewett, and Captain Chris Fugate. You know, a familiar face to you all over here in the annex and the Capitol. I'm working detail with State Police. He's now with our Ranger Division, and we're tickled to have him. But we just wanted to come this morning and thank you very much for the invitation to give you a report on state parks, what we've been doing lately, and most of that has been involved in with the West Kentucky tornadoes and you know, our efforts there to help out the displaced families and those communities in West Kentucky. So again, I want to thank you. I want to also thank Representative Freeland. I know he was in close contact with myself, with Parks, and the communities that were involved in West Kentucky. Many of your fellow colleagues and representatives and senators were in communication with us, very supportive, very helpful. Want to thank each and every one of you all for what you do every day, and thank you very much. Also want to thank Governor Beshear, First Lady, for all their help and efforts and their leadership. Everyone, the Commonwealth came together at this event and just really has done a phenomenal job. And, you know, I'm just proud to be a part of our team. And, you know, when the tornadoes hit, we really, you know, we woke up, we were, you know, working towards it. We knew they were coming. We didn't know how devastational this was going to be. There was no playbook involved. So we had to wake up, create our own playbook, and just flat out get after it. And I feel like we did. We came together as a team. You know, just the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I'm just so proud to be a part of what we do with the parks, and each and every day working with each of you, Governor Beshear, and our team at Parks. But you know, first of all, with the communities in West Kentucky, the events that happened throughout your community, Representative Freeland, as you know well, you were on the ground, and I was on the ground in Mayfield and Dawson Springs and Princeton, an area really close to you, to see the devastation, and it was something else to see, to be a part of, to have an opportunity to make a difference in these communities.
The December 11th Quad State tornado was the worst tornado event in state history, with at least 4 tornadoes devastating 8 Kentucky counties. The tornado event resulted in the governor declaring a state of emergency. The emergency declaration ensured that federal funding was available to provide emergency resources and rebuild our western Kentucky communities. The state of emergency activated over 180 Kentucky National Guard members as well as Kentucky State Police, Fish and Wildlife Conservation offices, and Kentucky State Park Rangers. Our state park rangers helped with human rescues, first aid and emergency transport, traffic control, clearing roadways, safety checks, and delivering emergency supplies. The Park Ranger Division has also been actively involved in the state's emergency response and recovery efforts. Our Rangers continue to work closely with Kentucky Emergency Management and FEMA. We have dedicated 33 Rangers and 6,800 Park Ranger hours to our efforts to rebuild our western Kentucky communities. As part of the state's emergency response efforts, 7 Kentucky state parks were designated to provide emergency shelter and food services for individuals impacted by the tornado. Our parks have provided temporary housing to more than 800 individuals and 250 first responders. The Kentucky State Parks designated as emergency shelters are in the heart of western Kentucky, which include Kentucky Dam Village, Ken Lake State Resort Park, Lake Barkley State Resort Park, Barren River Lake State Resort Park, John James Audubon State Park, Pennyrile Forest State Resort Park, and Rough River Dam State Resort Park. These state parks have served as a community resource by providing lodging for the American Red Cross, utility crews, first responders, and displaced families. And today, 152 displaced guests are currently being temporarily housed at Kentucky State Parks. These individuals and families are spread primarily across 4 state resort parks: Lake Barkley, Kentucky Dam Village, Pennyrile Forest, and Ken Lake. Since December, our park staff and volunteers have been working with the American Red Cross, local churches, businesses, and restaurants to ensure individuals impacted by the tornado have basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing. The outpour of support helped us ensure every child staying at our parks had toys for the holidays. Through the First Lady's Toy Drive, we distributed toys to families at the parks and people impacted by the storm within the local community. We also hosted 4 holiday parties for the families and their children to celebrate the holidays and allow parents to shop for gifts. In partnership with the University of Kentucky men's basketball coach John Calipari and Manny Onom, president and CEO of Samaritan's Feet, shoes were provided to displaced Kentuckians staying at 2 state parks, Lake Barkley and Pennyrile. Samaritan's Feet donated thousands of shoes that were distributed to people sheltering at parks and those in shelters within the communities throughout West Kentucky. Now, as the number of sheltering guests is declining, we have begun the process of consolidating the number of parks providing temporary housing for displaced families. The process includes transitioning individuals to more self-sufficient housing units, such as travel trailers and cottages that are closer to their homes, communities, and schools. Currently, we are housing displaced individuals in 24 lodge rooms and 33 cottages. There are also 7 travel trailers being utilized as medium-term housing at Pennyrile Forest Campground. With the exception of Pennyrile Forest in Dawson Springs, all sheltering guests will transition out of park lodges into travel trailers or cottages at 2 to 3 parks. We have designated 89 family units that will allow our sheltered guests to resume self-sufficiency and have more privacy. State parks will begin the process of transitioning guests at Lake Barkley where the park still needs extensive repairs from last year's fire. Modernizing our state parks is critically important and ensures our parks can continue to be a community resource in times of emergency. This transition will also allow us adequate time to focus on repairs and renovation of lodge rooms in preparation for future guests. It is also ensures our parks can remain competitive in tourism and hospitality industries when we reopen for guests in the future. The storm resulted in minor damage at our parks in West Kentucky. At most of our western Kentucky parks, we experienced brief power outages and had to clear debris. This created an opportunity for the Commonwealth to utilize our state parks as emergency sheltering for citizens in western Kentucky. Utilizing state parks for sheltering is an integral part of the state's emergency response plan, and our parks serve as a lifeline for communities impacted by any disaster. Our parks also provide temporary housing to first responders, healthcare workers, and at the height of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Recently, the Commonwealth purchased 200 travel trailers to serve as medium-term housing for displaced Kentuckians in the 16 counties affected. Travel trailers have been dispatched to Mayfield Mobile Home Community and Pennyrile Forest State Park Campground. All travel trailers are brand new, either a 2022 or 2021 model, and range in size from 27 feet to 36 feet long. State parks can temporarily house 129 travel trailers at Ken Lake and Pennyrile campgrounds. State park cottages will also serve as medium-term housing options for displaced individuals. Both the travel trailers and cottages feature kitchens that will allow individuals to resume self-sufficiency and provide more privacy for the families. To be eligible for continued sheltering at state parks, displaced families must register with FEMA. The deadline to apply for FEMA assistance has been extended to Sunday, March 13th. And with everything that we've done through parks, within parks, we approach it with compassion for the families, for the communities that have been impacted. And we've had to make a lot of decisions that were not in a playbook that we don't normally deal with. So we've been learning as we've gone along. We're here today to take any questions that you all may have about what's going on in West Kentucky, how we've handled things, what the future brings. And, any other questions that you may have for parks. And again, Chair Lady King, we look forward to coming back and covering other topics in the near future and throughout this year, too. So with that said, I'll be happy to take questions, and our team will take questions.
Do either of your guests have any comments to add to that, or
they
any
Captain
commentary?
Fugate may.
Sure. Just to reiterate what the commissioner had advised, it's a unique situation for the Park Ranger Division. We have provided 24/7 law enforcement coverage at 4 of these parks. That's required us to pull several rangers from across the state. Currently, we pull anywhere from 1 to 2 from the East region and 1 to 2 from the Central region. Those rangers will typically stay out there for an entire week, work those shifts. They're also working 12-hour shifts to provide that 24/7 coverage. Another unique opportunity for the Rangers, they've worked closely with Kentucky Emergency Management, American Red Cross, FEMA. The National Guard at one time was also paired up with these Rangers at these parks. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Public Health, DCBS, local governments, local EM officials, Behavioral Health, and Kentucky Public Service Commission. So it's been unique because a lot of these rangers have not worked with these individuals before. So it's definitely been an opportunity for us to have a team effort and work together for this disaster. So
excellent. That's great news. Do you have anything you want to add?
Sure. Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you for having us today. And I looking at the situation from the outside in, I think this is a true testament to our state park employees. So I would like to say publicly thank you to those folks. They have made a yeoman's effort during this disaster. So thank you.
Excellent. And I know this committee and the entire Commonwealth joins you in appreciating their efforts. I had two quick questions, and Commissioner Meyer touched on it. The FEMA extension for March the 13th. For our folks listening at home that may need to go ahead and apply, can you touch on that just one more time, please?
Yes. Originally, the deadline was February 28th, and we've, placed an extension on that to the 13th of March, which is great. I mean, when you're displaced from your home and you have nothing, no phone, you don't have anything to communicate, it's kind of hard. But what we've been doing with the displaced families staying at parks, we're going hands-on, knocking on doors. Our employees at the parks who have done a phenomenal job, are communicating with them, hands-on. So we're letting them know. But anyone else out there in the Commonwealth and in West Kentucky that's impacted needs to know that, yes, the deadline is the 13th, and we need to at least make contact with FEMA. That's really important because we don't want anyone left out. We're here to help. I know FEMA's here to help and to take care of those in need and that have been impacted.
Thank you. I appreciate you emphasizing that. It's vitally important that everyone that is eligible does make contact and do that. One quick question, and then we do have several from the committee. So do you anticipate your facilities being cleared of displaced neighbors before your regular season starts? How do you anticipate that transition? And you spoke to a little bit of that, but can you expand on that just a moment?
I can, and as I said, first and foremost, when you are in a delicate situation like this, you approach it with compassion for people affected and in a helpful, manner. But it is, very important that they get in touch with FEMA, because FEMA is also there to help and provide these services, and they're here for a reason. So to transition from parks and get us back to operational status is very important, not only to these families impacted, the communities, and our entire Commonwealth and how we operate our parks. So we're moving on that, but we're also working with the families and in each situation individually. So I feel like that we'll be ready. It should take 30 or so days to get a lot of these rooms back to rentable status. So because they're not made for people to live there for an extended amount of time. So it's an opportunity for us to look at where we are and upgrade and make necessary changes to make it a better product for those looking to use our parks and have a great vacation. So.
Thank you. We do have some questions and probably some thankful comments from committee members, starting with Representative Freeland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just thank you, Commissioner Myers. I know we have talked several times and talked through state park directors several times on issues, and I just want to thank you and the governor's office for all you have done for our area. And you mentioned the rooms, and as you mentioned earlier, we're not playing from it. There's no playbook to go by. So it was nice that was offered and had a place for these displaced families, because Western Kentucky, we don't have available homes like many areas do. So it was nice to have a place for these folks to go. One question I did have was regarding tourism this season. I want to make sure, like Western Kentucky, Lake Barkley, Kentucky Lake, maybe get some extra consideration, because we have been through so much, and I don't want that national perception for people that are looking for places to stay to think that our area is not a good place to come visit for the summer. I want to make sure they know our lakes are in great shape, campgrounds are perfect, and just to make sure that message is there, and I hope that will get some extra consideration.
Well, thank you for that. And, if any of you all have been to West Kentucky and experienced Land Between the Lakes, the parks that we have down there, unbelievable. They're beautiful. They're first class. And, I don't think we're going to have any problem with that. I think that they're going to continue on business as usual. Obviously, and we'll be back to talk more about this, but there are capital needs in our parks, as you all know that have parks in your areas. We're looking forward to taking care of a lot of these upgrades in our parks. It's important, and this transition's going to enable us to take care of a lot of things. So, get down to Kentucky Dam Village, get down to Ken Lake State Park, get down to Lake Barkley, go to Penny Rowell. Beautiful places, and just a unbelievable part of our state that you will fall in love with if you have not been there. So, thank you.
Very good. Representative Kirk McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to commend you on the job that you've done through this major disaster that we've had. Secondly, as a retired state employee, the state parks were my home away from home, and they're always so beautiful, peaceful, the serenity that we were there for meetings, and I've stayed in every one of them across the state, from the Land Between the Lakes to the Virginia line. So they're beautiful. One question I have, and something I want to just bring to your attention, and this has really bothered me, is the Jenny Wally State Park swimming pool has been closed down for years. That is an absolutely beautiful pool, and it was utilized tremendously by families because there's not, we lack in recreational activities somewhat. But is there any way that you all can take a look at reopening that pool at Jenny Wally State Park? And it's always just been on my mind. And, it's just a shame that it's sitting there not being utilized. So.
Great question, and I love it. And embrace it, because I've been to Jenny Wiley 5 times within the last year.
Yeah,
and
it's a beautiful
every
park.
time I go, I drive by that pool, and I see the same thing that you explained.
Yes.
We, as I've said in the past, and some of the new members that are here now, Kentucky State Parks, we have to reinvest in our parks.
Yes.
We have, as I say it in anything that we do, any business venture that you have with your home, with Kentucky State Parks, we have wants, we have needs, and we have have-tos. And we have about $250 million in capital expenditure have-tos right now across our state, 45 state parks. So it's important. And I've been down and I've talked to your mayor about this. I've talked and sat down with Representative Tackett Lafferty about this, and other members of your the community there. And it's important that we reinvest in our parks, because they're a big part of our communities. They're a big part of the economic impact in our communities. And that's all I can say. But we're gonna work and fight and dig every day, and I know you all are going to do the same this session when it comes down to budget time, and we have the ability to, and a real opportunity this session to get some stuff done within our state parks and reinvest. Not only in our state parks, but it's a reinvestment in our communities. It's a reinvestment in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So I appreciate you saying
just
that.
a quick follow-up. I'll bring to mind that this park, not just with tourism, but it serves, like this pool, there was people from 4 counties that utilized it. Mm-hmm. And they don't have a lot of access to public pools, you know, in their community. So everybody went to the lake, Dad went fishing, and the family, you know, hang out at the pool. So
and it's a beautiful setting
Yes,
down there,
thank
right
you.
there in the mountains, and it's awesome. And also thank you for what you said about the parks and the team we have. You know, the park, our Kentucky State Park employees have just been unbelievable through this you know, tragedy with the tornadoes. They put in countless hours. They've been committed, and it's been really tough, and it's been tough on the people in the communities. I mean, I know my wife and I, we were working in the kitchen at Penny Ryle, and I came out to just help and see what was going on with the food operation out there, and I saw a family standing at the you know, check in at the restaurant, and I went up to check on them. I mean, it was an emotional thing, and this family, I said, well, how can I help you? And it was a family of about 6 people, and you know, all they had was a shirt on their back. They lost everything. They rented where they were staying, and where they were staying was gone, and everything in it was gone. And they said, I don't know if you can help me or not. And I mean, tear came down my face, and I said, well, ma'am, can I do anything for you? She said, we are starving. That's what she told me. We are starving. And I said, well, you all go right over there to that buffet and fill your plates up all you want, and we'll work on getting you a place to stay. And you know, these people came to our state parks with hope, and that's all they had was hope. And we were able to give them shelter, we were able to give them food, and we were in turn able to give them hope. And I think we've done that, and you all have done that by supporting our state parks. So thank you very much.
Representative Timoney.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Commissioner, thank you for coming. This was very informative. Again, accolades to your group for the response for the tornado. Obviously, we have key pieces in our Commonwealth that are called upon during times of emergency. When state parks, you were right there when it was needed. I'd also like to point out that our school systems, our school buildings were also employed during that time period. Critical resources in some of the most devastated areas. Thank you for your leadership with this group. I kind of want to change directions a little bit and talk a little bit about big picture, because within this time period that we're going through, COVID and those types of things, obviously parks are an avenue for people to definitely explore. You definitely have talked about some capital improvement projects. I can tell you, and I'll go specifically right into this. I had a couple of buddies. We used to travel around, go to the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail in Alabama. And I was in parts of Alabama I would never go to if it wasn't for the golf course that's there. I think our golf courses, I've played Mineral Mound out in near Land Between the Lakes, and I've played Pine Mountain from the 606 to the 270. We've got some outstanding golf courses. We need to increase our traffic there. Have you guys thought about, I know personally from, I first met you when your son competed golf, and I was a golf coach in Lexington, and so I understand how running golf tournaments is one of the best ways to get money generating in areas. Why do we not have driving ranges at our golf courses? That would be an awesome investment project, capital investment project for Mineral Mound, a couple of those other ones to attract these golf tournaments that are so vitally needed in some of our most economically recessed areas.
Well, you have hit right in my wheelhouse, Representative Timoney. You know, let's look at it this way. Golf, how many people in this room play golf? It's not a high percentage of people in any community play golf. 10%, maybe 20% even play. But let me tell you, it is a huge economic impact. And one thing that I can say about the golf courses here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, there are 5-star golf courses. Go to Yatesville and take a look at that golf course. put that on your calendar as the weather starts getting warmer. But it's the economic impact that it brings to communities. It's a tool in the toolbox that we need to promote our communities. And for park standpoint, it puts heads in beds. And it's public golf courses that are open to everyone. We are not excluding anyone. It's not a private club that you have to have a membership. You can come, anyone can come play our golf courses, and they are beautiful. But we have to reinvest in our golf courses, as you know. We have to get people coming back. And I've been discussing this, and there's was monies that we put in, for golf courses, capital improvements, that was not in the House version. We're in the Senate now. When it comes back to the House and the Senate coming together, let's get that put back in, because if we don't reinvest in our golf courses, these people won't come back. They won't come back and put heads in beds at our parks. They won't come to our communities to play these golf courses. And it's important. We have these just awesome assets. Awesome assets throughout our state that are huge draws to people out of state. Let's reinvest in them. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Co-Chair Fugit.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner, thank you for coming today, and thank you for all that you've done in Western Kentucky to help a lot of people. And I want to thank the park rangers for their service during that time. And I know that was a tough time on everybody. It still is. And so I want to thank you all for that. Thank you for coming today. But then turning to our ATV trail system, I've got two great state parks in my district. Of course, my district will be changing after this year, pending my reelection. But I've Kingdom Come State Park, and then I've got Buckhorn Lake State Park. It's my understanding that in the past years, Buckhorn Lake, who is a place where I think that is one of the most beautiful places that there is. But it's my understanding that in the past years, the lodge and all the lake has lost up to $800,000 a year. And so talking about our trail system and promoting our park system, I really believe that if we made Buckhorn Lake into somewhat of just a destination for ATVers. Last year in West Virginia, 96,000 people came to West Virginia to ride ATVs. Economic impact of $38 million in 8 southern West Virginia counties. And so our trail system is going to do the same thing for East Kentucky. But I think, as you said, put heads in the beds. I think we could fill Buckhorn Lake Lodge and the cabins and all that stuff. I think we could fill them 9 or 10 months out of the year. And so I appreciate you having open talk with me over the last months that you've been in the position that you've been in. And I understand that the cabins and places need work, and we as the state legislature really need to look at that as an important part of our budget process. And so I'm thankful that we've been talking, and I pray that we can just continue to work together to see that happen for East Kentucky. The coal industry has been destroyed. I mean, we all know that. We have to have something that's going to bring money in. And if we can create a place where 90,000 people can come to East Kentucky to ride ATVs and stay and promote the lake as the pontoon rentals and the fishing and the swimming and just a great place to stay, I'm thankful for our state parks. And I pray we can keep working on that and make that come to pass. So I just want to say thank you for what you've done and for always being willing to talk to me about those things, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative Fugate. And if I could comment, Madam Chair.
Please.
Buckhorn is a hidden gem, just an unbelievable place. It's beautiful. I mean, just phenomenal. So thank you for saying that and being supportive of your park there. We have an opportunity. This is our opportunity, as I've said, with ARPA money coming in. this is our opportunity to reinvest. So, you take a little place, a hidden gem like Buckhorn, we can do something. Think outside the box. This is our opportunity to come together and work together. So that's a great message you send, and we're sitting here willing and ready. Thank you.
Thank you both. Representative Hale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Myers, good to see you again. Thank you for your work, and especially what the park systems have done in West Kentucky. I have a couple questions, Madam Chair, if I can just maybe take one at a time here.
Sure, please.
You mentioned the extension of the FEMA deadline. My question is, have people been taken advantage? Have they been actually working with FEMA, filing their forms, or are a lot of people not utilizing that opportunity? Could you give me just an update? How's that going with the FEMA folks?
It's going well. We implemented a vetting process with FEMA, with the American Red Cross, and with our local emergency management for our state of Kentucky, and with our local folks in emergency management too. So that vetting process has extremely helped that. Obviously the percentages are percentages, and you're going to have, some come in and take advantage. But, as I said, we're going into every case with compassion, and we're vetting. We're doing the right thing. Our rangers, Crockett, has done a fabulous job with that. Our team, with each park individually, our team here in Frankfort, we've been on the ground in West Kentucky vetting. So, there wasn't a playbook.
Yeah.
We've had to create that playbook, and that was a big part of it coming in. You may want to expand on that a little bit, Captain Crockett, but it's gone well. And to answer your question, yes, there have been people take advantage, but we've handled it with class and handled it properly. So,
well, if I may just follow up, and the reason I actually asked that, and it's kind of ironic, 10 years ago yesterday, we had a devastating tornado come through my area, not to the extent as happened here or in the western part of the state, but we had a lot of devastation, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars of damage in several counties. And after that happened, and of course at that point there was no playbook there either. But what I found out was soon after that happened, working with local officials, and this was before I came to this position here, but for 2 years I headed up an organization there called the Long-Term Recovery Group that worked with county judges, fiscal courts, and I found in my experience through that time, especially early on, that it was very difficult to work with FEMA. The folks from FEMA made it very difficult for those individuals to get their forms filed. They made it almost impossible for a lot of those people, and a lot of those people just didn't follow through with it. And this is, and I'm not trying to make it sound as though FEMA was the problem, but I do know from experience working in that field with Habitat for Humanity people, we had to get investments from millions of dollars of private funds to get people back in homes because the FEMA folks just kind of went away and left us. And so I would encourage you, and I hope I would encourage you and your staff to really work with the people there and the FEMA folks, that they will come together and the folks from FEMA won't make this so difficult that people just don't utilize what they have available for them.
Well, first I want to hand it over to Captain Crockett and let him expand on that. But I can tell you firsthand from Governor Beshear, his team's leadership, we've done a phenomenal job of putting everything in place to help that not from happening. Because we are dealing with it from not only FEMA federal level, state level communication with emergency management, local level communication with local emergency management. So they've done a great job of communicating and being in touch with that whole process each and every day and throughout the week. So, I'll give credit where credit's due. Governor Beshear's done a fantastic job with that. So I'll turn it over to Crockett.
Sure. As the commissioner stated, it has been a learning process for everyone from the Rangers to the Department of Parks. But I can assure you, just through my involvement there at the Kentucky Operations Center, that the Parks Department, along with Kentucky Emergency Management and FEMA, have worked very well together. In addition, the ARC, the American Red Cross, have been there throughout the entire process. As a matter of fact, what we've done to make sure that these people are being contacted, in addition to signage there at the parks, we've made an active effort to reach out to these individuals that are at parks that have not registered with FEMA. FEMA has also brought teams in to actively meet with these individuals to see that the proper paperwork is filed, that they need to get the help that they need. And some of these people, as you can imagine, need assistance in filing that paperwork, because it obviously it can be overwhelming to most anyone that's gone through a situation like that. But from my standpoint, everything that we've done during this time has gone very well.
Well, I hope. I thank you for that, and I certainly hope that it continues to go well.
Yes, sir.
I can just go back and speak from experience from a decade ago that it didn't go well.
Okay.
And FEMA seemed to basically abandon thousands of people up in our part of the state and left them, made things so difficult that many folks just didn't utilize it, didn't follow through with it. And Madam Chair, if I can ask one more question, maybe if we're running late on time, I apologize.
You please proceed.
Since we have been promoting our parks, and I do want to commend the Parks Commissioner for the Park Service, State Park Service for Natural Bridge State Park, which is in my district. They've done a lot of work there and have made a lot of improvements to Natural Bridge. It's just like everybody else's park. It's a phenomenal place right there in the Red River Gorge. They have done a phenomenal job in improving the lodge, the cafeteria area where people eat, and so I just want to throw that out and thank the parks for a lot of work that they've done there at Natural Bridge and have made that a beautiful place. It's like every place else. It still needs some more work, but it has improved a lot, and I appreciate that from the Kentucky State Parks. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative.
Representative Tackett Lafferty.
Thank you. I just want to say that, obviously, in addition to all the wonderful things that our state parks bring, your testimony today just kind of reinforces why we're very thankful and fortunate for our state parks. I know during COVID, in the beginning, I live in my district, I do have the beautiful Jenny Wiley State Park, which does need the pool reopened. But we did use our cabins there to house our first responders when they would test positive for COVID so that they wouldn't take it home to their families. So, that's just another use, another reason why we need to reinvest in our parks, and why we need to look to the future, and utilizing them. Not just they're there when we need them, but they can also be such a valuable asset when you talk about a hidden gem. They truly are. I do want to say thank you, just like some of my fellow representatives, because you have listened many times to some of my concerns with regard to our state park in my district. Of course, we've talked about our swimming pool, and I think that one of the major things that I appreciate is just like the trail system. You have listened to what is relevant to our areas. for instance, we're talking about golf courses. Unfortunately, my park has a debunked golf course because we have the beautiful Stonecrest golf course at the top of the hill. So now our smaller golf course on our property is no longer in use. But your office and Fish and Wildlife has been wonderful to talk to me about trying to bring in something like an archery range to that space, which, like you said, would put heads in beds. From what I understand, something like that would be one of the only outdoor facilities available across Kentucky where schools could compete. So that would bring a lot of people to our area, and I think the trail system, working with the parks, is a fantastic idea for our area. And I think it includes 19 counties. So I think that would be a big win for Kentucky if we could correlate those. But thank you for all your work, and we know that your time and money has been invested in areas of need right now. So we want you to know that we appreciate you, and that I would like to just reiterate that we need to fund our park system. So thank you.
Representative Pollock has a comment.
Hey, I just wanted to talk about my hidden jewel, Green River Lake. And question I have to you, Commissioner, and again, thank you for what you guys do. We, as my understanding is, and really after the meeting sometime I'd like to sit down and talk to you so I can get more educated overall. But I understand Green River Lake is run by the Corps of Engineers, maybe. Is there any other lakes, or are they all ran by the Corps, or can you answer that question?
Some are Corps lakes, some are Fish and Wildlife lakes.
Okay.
So
we won't. I don't need to get into explaining. We can sit down another time. But I just kind of wanted to kind of touch base, show some love toward Green River Lake. Is a beautiful, beautiful lake, and love to have a live so we can put those heads in the beds one of these years. But anyway, just thank you for what you do.
Well, you do have the busiest campground in the state last year, so yeah, it's phenomenal, great staff there. So it is a great place. So thank you for mentioning.
Well, Commissioner and your guest, I hope you sense how much we appreciate everything you do and how much we appreciate this briefing. So please share our thanks with all of your team members in each of your divisions, and we look forward to having you back really soon. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you. And if any of you all have any questions or need to get in touch with me, Representative King has my personal mobile, or several other members have my personal mobile number. You can get it from them. Love to help you out in any way. Thank you.
Well, again, I hope you can sense how much we appreciate what you do, and we appreciate your briefing today. Representative Branscombe, would you like to cast a vote on House Bill 513?
Yes, Madam Chair, and I apologize, Head of Bill and Committee.
No, totally understandable.
House Bill 513, I'd like to record a yes vote.
Would you like to cast a vote on House Bill 552?
Yes, ma'am, a yes vote.
We have both of those registered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Committee members, just watch for your email, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, and God bless. Have a great day.